hosts, not co-hosts anymore. I can't do co-hosts. You've done this too long. It's the Christmas season.
Yes, it is. It is.
Will Martinez with Dark Fringe Radio. How are you doing, Will?
Very good. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. You almost look like the floating head tonight.
I know, right? Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. The black. Sorry about that. But
that's why I got my lights in the background now. So I don't look like a floating head.
I know.
What was that TV show with the floating head? Remember that back in the day?
No, I don't know now. You got me thinking.
I feel like it wasn't Mork and Mindy. Was it?
No.
I can't remember. Well, anyway, how's Dark Fringe Radio going over there?
Doing well. We have a new episode coming out tomorrow. It's regarding tulpas, the thought form. Yeah. So if you're familiar with that, it's just the power of thought and be able to create something and giving enough energy and thought into it. So it's a pretty interesting subject. We talk about some real true to life examples of it. So yeah, check it out tomorrow. darkfringeradio.wordpress.com. You can find all that stuff there.
So is it dealing with manifestation too? Like your thoughts come into
That's exactly what it's dealing with. I mean, putting enough energy, even people just, doing it on purpose to see if they could do it. And they've been able to recreate and just manifest things out of nothing. Professors, there was this one, just give you a quick example. This one guy, he decided to kind of create his own tulpa, which was like a spider entity. And so he built a big thing in his house, like a ritual area, and did all this stuff and even had incantations for it and everything. And he started having dreams of it, and people were starting to kind of see it in their dreams as well. So he started feeling like he created this entity. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
That's interesting. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have to tune in and listen to that over the weekend. So that comes out tomorrow on
darkfringeradio.wordpress.com.
WordPress.com.
Or you could just any of the streaming sites, you can find it on there. It'll be open. Yeah.
And you'll probably post it to your Facebook page too, right?
All the time.
That's where I get it from. So
yes.
That's why. And I haven't been able to post your website up on here for a while with that. You know how I used to have that.
Yeah, I know.
They don't offer that much anymore anyway. So, but yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Hopefully you had a good week, and I had a pretty great week. I know this is your last. Can't sleep.
Oh no!
I'm gonna see if our hypnotist might be able to put me in a coma for a good week. But oh shoot, I was going to say something else to you. Oh, this is your last show though for the year, because we only have one more next week, and you're not going to be here. I do have another co-host coming on next week. I don't know if very many people know him. His name is John Sparks. He has Sparks of the Paranormal podcast. I was on his show last week as a guest. He's super fun and outgoing, and I told him one day and then all this happened. So it's not going to be a wheel, but I'll see you next year.
It's my birthday, so yeah,
I know.
I'm taking the night off, and I'm going to do something, I guess. It's my 41st birthday, so I guess.
I was going to say 29.
I wish. I
know. So Karma Wild, that's a good name. Says hi.
Hi, Karma.
Mort.
Hello, Mort.
That's Mork and Mindy. I said maybe it's putting this out. Maybe I'm manifesting some stuff right now.
There you go. You see.
Okay. It says hello. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Please share this video for our guests for this network. We are streaming live on my YouTube page and the Paranormal United network. So please share. It helps everybody all around. So speaking of guests, we're getting ready to bring on a lovely, funny, great person. She's been on our show before. It's the Hypnotist Brenda K. Now, Brenda K is a certified hypnotherapist with the National Guild of Hypnotists. She counsels in many areas, including weight mastery, which we're going to talk about, fertility hypnotist, forensic smoking cessation, performance, and corporate hypnosis. So she travels all over the place because she's part of Norwegian tours, like cruise lines. So yeah, this is super going to be fun and awesome. We're also going to talk about past life regression, which I'm getting really into. So let's bring Brenda onto the show right now. Yay, we have Mrs. Brenda K here on the show.
Brenda. Hello.
Hey, yeah. So I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your schedule and things and participating again. I had you come back on in December because when we had you on previously, it was like one of the most viewed shows that we had. So so everybody was messaging me back then, when are you going to have her back on? I'm like, check at the end of the year for our December shows. So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for coming back on. So see. Oh, Karma Wild. I'm sorry. I'm reading some comments really. Karma says, I send pics and vids to you all the time. Is that for you, Brenda?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's for Pun Network. Sometimes I see those. Sometimes I don't. So, well, thank you. Yay, Karma. And please share this video to your pages and everything like that. So, so Brenda, how have you been since the last time you've been on the show? How's life treating you with all this craziness of the pandemic?
You know, I've enjoyed being a stay-at-home dog mom. That's been a highlight, and my dog is always with me, right next to me, wherever I am. So that's fun. But I've really come to love the pivot to working online. I've hosted hypnosis workshops, seminars. I've done one-on-one hypnosis, and I found out that it works really a lot better than even doing it live and in person for therapeutic reasons, because people are in the comfort of their own home. They don't have the stress of traveling to get to an appointment, and it really is, it's quite effective. So it's been really fun to be able to work with people in a different way and just get them really, really great results. I've been able to offer 3 different weight mastery workshops, and people keep coming back for more because they love it. And so even during all of the stress and all of the uncertainty and all of the extra food at home, people have still been able to manage their mindset and lose weight. So it's really been rewarding.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm glad you went ahead, because I want to mention this a couple times, because I'm going to attend this next week, and I'm going to share it up here. And I shared the link in the chat here with what you're providing for people next week. Hold on, why is that not coming up on the screen yet? Hold on, it's taking a moment.
Great idea, by the way.
Yes,
it's a wonderful idea. Yeah.
Hold on.
Especially during this time, I mean, like you said earlier, while we were talking offline, you know, it's so important now that, you know, we all connect, even if it is virtually, because, you know, obviously because of COVID, you know, we can't physically connect and see each other face to face. We got to try to do everything we can.
Next week is going to be happy hour with you. I'm so excited. I really am excited about this. And I'm glad that you said 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I work late on Thursday nights. I have a break between 7 and 8:30.
That's perfect.
You know, I feel sorry for the people I interview for a living, for positions, security jobs. So I feel sorry for the people I have to interview afterwards. I don't know what I would be like. But I was so excited that you said it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So talk a little bit about what you're going to start doing next Thursday here. Yeah. That's an online event.
So yes, thank you so much for asking about it. So this is my 4th time. Earlier in the year, I decided to offer a hypnotic happy hour, a way to introduce hypnosis to people in a fun and entertaining way, much like I would do my comedy hypnosis shows. So it's a little bit of just fun and entertainment, like edutainment, if you will, where I get to tell people about hypnosis, give them the opportunity to experience it with a purpose. And the purpose of this holiday edition is stress reduction, because I know holidays can be really stressful for so many different reasons, and especially the holidays this year are extra stressful. And really, stress is toxic on our bodies, and it causes sleeplessness and dis-ease and just so many different ailments in the body. So if we can just take an hour of time to have fun and connect with people and just relax and reduce the stress, that's what I want to offer as my special holiday gift to everyone. And so it'll be next Thursday on the 17th. And that's a Thursday night. And I'm offering it on a donation basis. So if you've never tried hypnosis, if you're curious about it and you want to explore it, you can do it for free. If you find value in it, you can, share the love. But the more people that get to experience it, I feel the better, and they'll realize the awesome benefits.
Well, hold on, I've talked a lot already. Will, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Well, no, it's so interesting that you offer these services. You talked about the weight loss thing. What other avenues and what other sections do you offer the hypnosis in as well?
Well, I'm specializing in weight mastery hypnosis right now, and I have a program called Shift and Shed. So shift your mindset, shed the weight. That's really, it's been my focus because that's what people keep asking me for. Like, I need help with this. Yeah. I've recently discovered an amazing protocol to release negative emotions and limiting beliefs. And it is really, really a powerful technique that I'm just diving into, and I can't wait to unleash it on the world and work with more people, because so many of us get stuck in our emotions and we can't move forward. Those heavy emotions like sadness and fear and guilt and shame and depression and all of that feels so heavy. So to be able to help people release that and live better lives is awesome. And then people get stuck in their limiting beliefs around, business and money beliefs come up a lot. And the belief of I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy. And to be able to clear that and free people is really empowering. And so those are my two areas of focus: weight mastery and the emotional mastery, if you will.
Yeah, it's just so important, and that people now realize how it's come out that mental health awareness has become a thing now because of everybody being cooped up because of the COVID thing. I find myself even as well, like I find myself, I think, as a decently or pretty sound person, and even myself, I find myself just like I gotta sometimes do things just to kind of like change things up, because if I don't, I will like follow a certain spiral. If I don't, because if not, I'll just keep going down. And I just like like I told Emily a couple weeks ago, I went python hunting. I went out in the woods in the middle of nowhere to go get scared, just because, and just get out of my element. You know what I mean? Just get out of my head.
Karma says, keep up the great work. I'll be looking you up, Brenda. And I've shared your website and things and your events and stuff here in the chat already. So yes, Will is well-grounded though, because I know sometimes he reads my post and he's like, I can't believe she did that. But he balances me so well. And there's sometimes I feel sorry for him because he doesn't tell me what he's going through. The next thing I know, he just needs to go hunt snakes and pythons and stuff, So the emotional thing that you're doing now with it's a workshop like your weight loss. Is that correct? Or
I haven't set up a workshop for it yet. Right now I'm doing it one-on-one sessions. Okay.
So that's as it more personable, it would seem like it would need to be. So, and you actually put people under hypnosis and oh my gosh, do they relive like stuff?
Well, not in this process. And this is a really light trance. This is a more daydreaming trance. So you're not reliving or rehashing your stuff from back that's back there. You're just repurposing it.
Okay.
So
does it help you find closure, and maybe if you have any kind of like hard feelings with somebody or family, or some things change throughout the years, somebody passes away, family splits up over that, does that help with all that?
It does. And it works with the emotion, not the event. So you're not reliving the event. You're just reframing the emotion.
That makes sense.
And I had somebody do it to me, and I was like And I thought I'm pretty good. Like I got my stuff under control. And I was like bawling buckets. Like so much stuff was coming up. And I was like, whoa. And it was just like, it's a good cleansing. It's a great purge. And I felt so much freer and so much lighter after it was done. It was really cool.
I may need to talk to you some more.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff.
Don't we all though? We all have our stuff to work on.
Gosh, I do.
You know.
And 2020 is the hardest year of my life, and I'm sure everyone could probably say the same. I mean, at least 90% of society can say it. Yeah. It's like a purging year for me, actually. It feels like.
You know, I think it's like that for a lot of people. A lot of things are surfacing and being brought to our attention that we maybe distracted ourselves away from or just didn't pay attention to. And now we're kind of forced to pay attention to it.
It's kind of scary.
But it's good though. It's good on the other side of it.
It is, right.
But I agree with the movie Purge now. We can just have that one day. Just that one day. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I have to look it up. I don't know.
Oh gosh. Yeah. You need to watch it. There's like several. And there are series now too on the Purge wheel.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to look it up. But I think
called Purge.
Yeah. I had Kevin Bacon in it. The first one that I saw. I love Kevin Bacon. I love him. He got me at Footloose years ago and Tremors. And so ever since then, I was a Kevin Bacon fan.
Talk about Kevin Bacon. Stir of Echoes, that movie, if you've ever seen that movie.
That's the one. That's the movie that I saw before I ever got into hypnosis.
Really?
And so that was my first experience with it. And when I volunteered for a hypnosis school that needed people to practice on, I said, okay, I'll let you practice on me, but are you going to do like what they did in the movie? Are you going to unlock some spirits that can attack me? And I was genuinely fearful that could happen.
Yeah. No, that's Emily's dog.
Oh, it sounded like a ghost.
Let me. He never acts like this. I'll be right back. Let me see what's going on. I'll be right back. We start talking about unlocking stuff, and now I'll be right back. Let me see what he's doing.
Go ahead. Take care. But no, that's that movie. It's a great representation. Well, I wouldn't say great because I guess it's a more of a Hollywood rendition of what would happen in a hypnotic type of session. You know what I mean? You think? Yeah. You think that could happen though? Like, you think there's a possibility of something like that happening?
I don't think so, but I'm of the mindset that anything is possible. And I don't really remember the whole premise of the movie. I just remember that kind of gist and that spirits were haunting him. Is that what it was?
So what it was that he was having a get together at his house, and his sister-in-law is one of those new age type of ladies, and she was actually studying hypnosis. And so she basically unlocked his brain or his mind to be able to see spirits. And supposedly, so the apartment that he lived in happened to be the place where murder happened, and there was actually a dead girl buried in the floor or the wall or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it all came back to him, and it was he was getting all these hypnotic, these psychic flash, memories of things that was happening because she unlocked his brain in this whole hypnotic event. So yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
What movie was that?
Stir of Echoes.
Oh, Stir of Echoes. Okay, I need to put that up here and just see.
Yeah, it's definitely
as a market here for me to watch. Yeah. Stir of Echoes, because I love Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
you like him in this one. You like him in this one. Yeah,
it's 1999, the year I graduated high school.
Oh,
you know what? I think I did watch this.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Yes, I have watched this. This was a long time ago, though. Yeah, I have watched this. I'll watch it again because it's going to be worth watching. Okay. Real quick though, for people that don't know you, Brenda, how did you get started in being a hypnotist or doing these kinds of therapies to help people and things? Did you have something happen to you as an adolescent, and then it grew into something different as you got older? Or
No, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I went to college to be a graphic designer, decided I didn't want to do that. And I was just kind of at a point where I was lost and looking for answers and like, what's my purpose? What's my direction? And, asking those questions, I stumbled upon a circumstance where I was at a fair in Boulder, Colorado, and there was a sign that said free hypnosis. And being a poor college student at the time, anything free caught my eye. So I went over and I said, what's this hypnosis and how do I get it for free? Right. And she said, we're a hypnosis school. We need some guinea pigs for our students to practice on. If you agree to let them hypnotize you, then you can work on whatever you want. And I said, cool. What does it work for? Because I really had no clue. And she said, well, you can use hypnosis to manage your weight, to stop smoking, to get rid of bad habits, to sleep better, to reduce fears and phobias. And I thought, oh, that's cool. But can hypnosis help me figure out what I want to do with my life? And she said, perhaps, pair up with this person and see. And it turns out, and I was scared, like I said, but I was open. I was open-minded. And it was my third hypnosis session and I had this aha moment and I had this knowing that hypnosis is what I wanted to do with my life. So basically, I was hypnotized to become a hypnotist.
Yeah.
But really, it just unlocked, it really did unlock my mind and my potential. And it gave me, it was the first time in my life I had an absolute knowing that, yes, this is what I want to do. And it empowered me. It made me confident, made me feel good. It made me feel on purpose. And so I trained as a certified hypnotherapist in 2001. And I really wanted to use it to help people just better their lives. And in order to promote my practice at the time or get out there, I started doing stage demonstrations or demonstration hypnosis. And that kind of took on a life of its own. But backing up just a little bit, even in high school, when I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, my one really big goal, my big life dream was to travel the world like a rock star. Yeah. and also get paid to do what I love. And so when I learned hypnosis, I learned that you can use self-hypnosis to implant seeds in your mind, to plant your goals and your dreams and just kind of let your subconscious mind work on that. So I started planting the seeds of my goals to travel the world like a rock star, to get paid to do what I love. And then I also added, I want to work less and make more. I want to live like I'm on vacation, like all of these absurd things. And so I started planting all of those seeds, and Will, you were talking about manifesting, and it manifested in a beautiful opportunity. I went to a hypnosis convention and I met a guy that saw what I did. He said, oh, Brenda, there's not a lot of female stage hypnotists. I think you'd be really great. Have you ever thought about working on a cruise line? And I said, tell me more.
There we go.
And he said, they will pay you to do your show and you get to see the world. And I said, boom, sounds like my dream come true. Sign me up.
There you go. Right.
And so I gave up my private practice in 2007. And for the past 13 years, I've been living my hypnotic dream of traveling the world like a rock star.
And you're on Norwegian cruise lines.
Yes.
Yeah. How is the cruise lines going and
they
everything?
Are not sailing right now. They suspended their sailings, most of them through March 31st.
Okay.
They might have some ships coming out at the beginning of the year, but nothing has been confirmed.
Okay.
So I think with much of what everybody's had to do this year, it's pivot. Like, let's do something different. And that was a good run while it lasted. And if I get to go back, awesome. If
I
I
think
don't,
you'll go back. I think you'll go back.
Yeah,
I feel it in my heart. You'll go back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's you. The videos and stuff. I'm going to show a couple clips here in a little bit too of what you do on those cruise ships. It makes me want to go back on a cruise.
So much fun.
Maybe we should do a What the Frick Live cruise vacation, Will, and go on Norwegian and see Miss Brenda K.
Hey, I'm close to the port here. All you got to do is
I
down
know.
here. Yeah.
Where are you at, Will?
I'm in West Palm, Florida.
Okay.
So
you have so many ships down there.
Exactly.
Is that, I'm assuming that, is that where you usually port and go out from, is Miami, or do you go California or?
I'm in Colorado, and luckily it's central to most of the ports because they would fly me everywhere, to New York, to Seattle, to LA, to Miami, just all over.
That's awesome.
Well, maybe we should do something. We need to, when the cruise ships come back up, because that's going to be a lot of fun. Because I am going to play a clip here talking about dancing and all that kind of stuff earlier. Let me pull this up really quickly. It's the monkey dance. I watched it before, and actually, I remember watching it before. It's so funny. And so you perform these on. Hold on. I got it going here almost. You perform these on the cruise ships. And so how do you pick your audience? Just volunteer, like they just raise their hands and you're like, boom, 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 or?
Well, no.
Okay.
Well, I do ask for volunteers. There's a qualifying process. So I run through some imagination exercises, and I tell people if they do well with these exercises, then they'll do well on stage, because I want to get the best people, because in a theater of 1,000 people, I've only got 16 seats on the stage, and I want the best of the best up there. And I don't know who I'm getting, and I pick them completely at random, and I look for, an even number of men and women if I can, and I try to vary the ages so I have a variety of people. So that's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for people that want to do it, because if they don't want to, it's not going to be as fun. And I'm looking for the people that I'm looking to avoid the people that are super excited about it, because I don't want them to hijack the show just because they want to be on stage.
Okay. Well, let's see what this monkey, this is 58 seconds. So let's watch this monkey example.
The Voodoo Monkey.
The Voodoo Monkey. Okay, this is fun. Okay, here we go.
Oh, they can't. And this is in Hawaii, so they're hula dancing with the monkey.
Wow, look at that.
You can hear the music, right?
No.
I can't.
Oh, why is that doing that? Hold on a second. I hear it plain as day. I was like, I know you started describing it, but I wonder why I didn't play the music. Hold on. Let me figure this out really quickly. Will, ask a question while I'm trying to concentrate a little bit. Hey, Brian, too, from Bearded Paranormal. So, hey.
One question that I always do have when it comes to this, the thought of hypnosis, it's really true about people. If they don't want to be hypnotized, they won't be hypnotized. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, that's like the big thing. You're like, if you really don't want to do it, then you really won't do it. You actually have to leave yourself kind of open to the suggestion, right?
Right. And you wouldn't do anything in hypnosis that would compromise your morals or beliefs, because you have that protective part of you that's not going to allow you to do something that would compromise that. Now, would you do things you wouldn't normally do? Probably. It's just like after a couple drinks, your inhibitions are a little lower, so you might be a little more free to dance and sing in front of people. So it just kind of lowers your inhibitions and sets you free.
Okay, I have the sound now, because I found there's been an update or an add-on, so I have to actually click audio when I put this up now. So here we go. Let's watch this now. 58 seconds. This is fun. There we go.
He likes to stand up and hula.
Wow, look at that.
Figuring those hips.
The last lady there, man, she's cracking me up.
She's having a good time.
Everybody has their own interpretation of what they think it should be.
Right.
She did. You know what? That reminds me of Beetlejuice around the table.
And I love it when they go crazy.
Yeah.
I love that woman on the end, man.
Hey Brenda, so let me ask you a question. So like, will they like start to freak out like later on in the evening if that song comes on just inexplicably, like say for instance on the radio? Like they just okay.
No, unless I set it up that way.
Oh, now
it's how you set up the suggestion.
Oh, I got ideas now.
So
I got ideas.
Okay.
Oh, that would be fun.
So for example, there was a show for the crew that I did. And I do things a little bit more out of the box for the crew on board that I would do for regular audience members. And the crew down below the ship, they have a lot of doors that they have to go through to get back to their cabins. And so I gave a crew member the suggestion, and it's one of my most popular videos, and it's like I didn't even shoot it, but I gave her the post-hypnotic suggestion. So I gave her a suggestion in hypnosis that she would do afterwards. So I said, in order to pass through any doorway to get back to your room, you'll bark like a dog 3 times.
Jeez. So she was just a barking fool, huh?
And so she walked through the door and she's looking around like she doesn't know why she's doing it. And I said, you'll do this until you get back to your cabin. So she's barking like a dog, and there's herds of people following her back to her room, and it's just hilarious.
Wow.
Have you ever done that on somebody you dated or?
No.
That's so mean, Emily.
I would test it on my ex-husband.
But can I tell you one of my favorite suggestions, post-hypnotic suggestions to give people after the show? And this is what I would give like the passengers, the volunteers, because I want everybody to have a good time. So I'd say I'll ask if they have a spouse in the audience. And if they do, I say, when you leave the stage, you'll have an overwhelming desire to give them the most passionate kiss you've ever experienced. And it'll feel like your first kiss, but even better. And you'll keep kissing them ever so passionately until your partner taps you on the back of the head 3 times. So I leave it up to the partner out in the audience to tap out if they need to. And then I'll say, and it gets even better because when you go back to your room, you'll have the most amazing night you've ever had. And each night gets better than the night before. So it all just builds on each other.
I should have went to the Norwegian cruise line on my first cruise, because my first cruise was last March and it wasn't that great. But I think if we were there on your cruise and that could have happened, and if I could have gone up on stage, because I always volunteer. Sometimes I am overly excited, though. You probably wouldn't have picked me because I would have been overly excited for this. But maybe the outcome would have been a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, everything happens as it needs to.
Yes. So now, real quickly, because we did have a question here. We're talking about past life regression. And I know I've mentioned that before, and we've talked about it and everything. You've had experience. We tried to do something here with me, but schedules were so busy in the last couple of days. Can you tell people about your experience with past life regression and what, because I have a friend, I'm going to show a little clip of hers of just having this done recently about it. I mean, are they really, really intense? And do you, I'm assuming that you do believe that you come from a past life, like you reincarnate through lives. And it's kind of, I'm borderline on, I'll be honest, I'm borderline. Sometimes yes, because there's a couple places I feel like I've been here before and I was never there. And it feels like home. So Brenda, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Sure. And my take on it, and I believe there's more to life than just this existence. But it really doesn't matter whether you believe it or not if you get something out of it. and if you take people back into a regression and it goes to some place that's not familiar, it could be a story that they're telling themselves to solve a certain issue or not. But there's been a lot of studies. Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters, that book.
Yeah.
He gets details when he regresses people, and it happened accidentally.
Right.
He regressed one of his patients to an earlier time in her life. And then he said, okay, go back to the first time you experienced it. And she went to a place that wasn't familiar. And so he's like, what is going on? And so he's asking for more details, and he got more details and he wrote them down, and they were able to prove these events happened in other lives. So whether it happened to her or if it's in the infinite intelligence that she just tapped into to help her solve whatever issue it is in this life, then that's awesome. So it depends on your intention of going back. Like, what do you want to go back for? Is it something that's keeping you stuck in this life that you want to find a resolution to, or do you just want to go back for fun? So it kind of depends on your purpose for going back as what you're going to get out of it. Yeah. And when I went back, with that, I don't even really remember the intention of going back. And it's something that I did when I was learning how to do this. I would do it to somebody and they would do it to me. And I ended up going back into a life where I was a man. I was an Indian, like Native American Indian, and I was lying on a beach. And I'm looking up and there's people all around me. And they're looking down at me and my head hurts. And I'm like, what is going on? And so, and when you're there, it's like a super vivid dream, hypnosis is the dream state. And so and maybe we did some work before, but part of the whole regression process, you go to a significant time in that life, and then you go to the end of your life, because that's when you can reflect. That's when you can get lessons. That's tend to be where you make agreements or contracts that may need to be broken. The only thing I clearly remember now, 20 years later, is the end part, where I'm lying there, my head's bleeding. People are looking down on me and they hate me. They're looking down on me with absolute disgust. And I'm like, what happened? And what happened? You know what you did and you deserve it. They're telling me. And I'm like, what? So somebody must have attacked me. I'm bleeding out of my head. I don't know, but whatever I did, people didn't like.
Well, there was a lot of the Indian wars and stuff too, the Seminole Wars and all that stuff back then. And on the beaches, the lighthouses and all that stuff that took place back, especially down in Miami, the Key West and all that kind of, Key West, yes. And all down to the Keys.
Florida, all the way to St. Augustine. So,
man, you're giving me chills.
Yeah. So it could have, I got a little bit of goosebumps now too. But Will, you had an experience also with past life. I'm the only one that hasn't had an experience. I'm like really wanting to do this now. Will, can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's I went to a Native American shaman.
Okay.
This person was able to. I went to this person initially to kind of clear my chakras and kind of cleanse, all that stuff and get things going. But this person also did a past life regression on me. And it was pretty interesting because I didn't see any visions like what Brenda was talking about, where, I was actually brought back to any, area or time, but I was put under, and all this information started coming out of this person. And it was really significant because, they were saying that, I lived during a certain period of time in 1772 in London, and, during the time. Yeah, it was really descriptive. I mean, it was really, really descriptive. And, it's really hard to kind of like say, how the hell did you just pull that out of your ass? Like, really? No, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. So I found it to be a very profound experience. I do believe in past lives. I mean, there's a reason why people, I think, link up together or so in sync with each other. I think it's because we were that way in another life as well.
Well, Brenda, too, real quickly about past lives and hypnotists or being hypnotized and going back to these things. Like I feel, and I have a gift that I'm coming out more verbally now with remote viewing, and it seems like when I do remote viewing, it's always the era of post Civil War Reconstruction period, 1876, all the way up to the early 1900s, 1910 or something like that. And then after that, it's like everything is faded for me. Even sitting here thinking about afterwards in the modern wars like World War I and II and stuff, I just can't connect. And there's two locations that I felt like I have been there before. One really prominent. That's actually really famous. And I didn't know it was famous for paranormal reasons until I was 19 or 20 years old. But the Stanley Hotel out in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I know all the history and everything behind it before I even knew Stephen King wrote The Shining there on a 10-day stay. He didn't stay there the whole entire winter, like everybody says, but he was there for 10 days. And he was an alcoholic too during that time. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that he probably saw, he was heavily intoxicated because he had the whole bar to himself.
Wow.
So that's the one place, even the roads and stuff. I've been back there 4 times now. And the first time I even was there, I just felt like it was home. Like I really felt, and after all these years of doing paranormal experiences, I've only caught 3 things on camera. And F.O. Stanley, I have him as a picture. It was on display. Here's something that's crazy too. My mom can vouch for this. I take my mom out there in 2015. We have 2 women coming up from the basement of the Stanley Hotel and says, ma'am, can you tell us where our rooms are? We can't find our rooms. And I'm always like, well, I can try. I'm a guest. And they're like, you don't work here? And I'm like, no. And they said, well, you're on the video down in the basement. I'm not joking. And this is the Stephen King. Like, if you want to go back. So my mom and I go down. There's like a little coffee room there. And I remember the second time I was there was cameras and stuff there. They were filming. And I was waiting on some friends to meet me up at the Stanley Hotel. And I'm on the main staircase coming out. And they're coming up into it. And I'm waving at them. They had me. I don't know if they still play. This is 5 years ago. Had me on there waving like, hi, you know, or whatever. And it was on the video down in the basement. So all this stuff is like coming together and like, this is crazy. But I don't want that to be in my mind though. If I do past life regression, like, you know, does that make sense? Or do you think I have something to do with that there? I mean,
you could.
They displayed I asked F.O. Stanley, and he had a twin brother, F.E., but F.O. had the Stanley Hotel. I asked him to show himself in the mirrors, and I have the pictures. I can post them back up. It was on my website and show people. And then when they made the statue out front of the Stanley Hotel a couple of years ago, it looks identical to the picture I got in the mirror. And it was on display. And this was back in 2013 when that happened, when I got the picture. So they didn't broadcast this out all nationwide like they do now. Even just in this short 7 years, you know, Facebook has come a long ways. But I don't know if it's still in the display case downstairs close to the basement there, where you go back into the underway and there's a tunnel.
Hey, Emily, how about this? I have a theory. How about the reason why that you only go back to that certain period of time when you do your your remote viewing? Is because that was where your past life was.
I think so.
And look where you live. You're in Kentucky. You're like in the middle of all that stuff there, where all the Confederacy happened, all the wars. The
Gettysburg is 3 hours away, 4 hours.
Right there, exactly. You're so right in the middle of it. So
it could be. Oh, hold on. Irene says hi from Tokyo, Japan, and World of Ghosts.
Yes.
Hi, Irene.
Hello, Irene.
Oh. And Mort says my regression. Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention to comments because I'm just getting really involved here. My regression. I was walking in the desert. I described my clothes and felt thirsty.
Cool.
Yeah.
But it have you seen that? I don't know how many regression sessions, or if this is something you're starting to get into that you've done. Do people, before they go under hypnosis, do they feel like they're drawn to a certain era of time, or or certain events or anything like that they talk about?
I think with most people, when they talk about that, they think that they were somebody significant in a previous life. And chances of that happening are like not. So somebody's like, I'm sure I was a king. I'm gonna go back see if I was a king. It's like, and you're a
We all think
you're a
highly of
caveman.
ourselves, right? Yes.
Yeah. But the, you know, I think people want to explore it. Or, you know, some people just want to, you know, they're like, I've always had this pain, or, you know, and they want to explore where that pain is coming from. And much like I do a lot of regression work, but I take them back in this life first. So we do the work here first.
Okay.
Unless they just want to go back for fun. So let's clear up whatever funk is happening here, and then we'll go back and dig deeper.
That could be like 4 sessions for me. Just here. Before we'd ever go back there.
But if, you know, and I think we talked about the story before. Like, I was like at a loss. I'm like, I don't know why I want to go back. Let's explore past life and see why I was clumsy. And it turns out I was a caveman that fell down a crevasse to my death. Like I was just, you know, my knuckles are dragging and I tripped and I fell and I was a klutz in that life and it killed me. And so I brought some of that into this one.
We do have a question here in the chat I'm going to bring up here in a second, but thinking about death, like the birthmark theory, like your birthmark is where you died. Like I have a huge birthmark on my leg, on my side, like where somebody would Charlie horse you. Everybody's like, what happened there when I wear shorts if I don't have a dark enough tan? And I'm like, oh, that's my birthmark. Is that true though? Like, do you see a lot of that in hypnosis and things like, you know, you say you hurt or something like that happens. Is it around a birthmark theory or all this stuff that goes on around those descriptions?
I haven't taken somebody back with that as a starting point, but it would be fun. We can explore that on you and see where it goes.
We can do it.
Yeah.
My brother Charlie horsed me in the other leg. Charlie horsed me so bad. I missed school for 3 days. I couldn't walk. He broke blood vessels and everything. So I have one. Yes, I was a freshman in high school in 8th grade. It was his middle school years. That's okay. We all have bad middle school years. But he did, and like it hurt so bad. But then the other side, it's like really, it's pretty big. It's probably this as long as a dollar bill. It's the whole side there. So real quickly, and I want to pull up a little clip of my friend here in a moment in her past life regression. But Nate, and then Will, if you have any follow up after this, and then we'll go into that video. But Nate says, Brenda, what goes into the training to become a hypnotist? Are there a certain amount of hours or people you need to hypnotize to be certified?
Great question. And there are a few different associations out there that I would highly recommend that you go through as far as training. I was trained through the National Guild of Hypnotists. And there's ICBCH or something like that as well. So they have their own curriculum. I believe my National Guild training was between 250 and 400 hours. And then I did the I did the training once, and then I did it again because there was so much. I had great instructors and they wanted us to learn a lot. So there's the basic criteria, and then they did above and beyond. And part of our training was practicing on each other. So you need to have clinic hours and then like the learning hours, but that was 19 years ago that I did my training. And so there's a lot of online trainings now, and they're doing sessions virtually back and forth. But I would, there's weekend, like learn how to hypnotize somebody in a weekend, and just not structured trainings. And you can do that, but I wouldn't trust it. Like you don't want to just learn enough to be dangerous. Like you want to know exactly what's going on. So
I wouldn't trust that either. But Irene, this is the point I was talking about too. They say birthmarks are the way you were killed in the past, is what they say a lot of the time. So Will, any follow-up questions from all that?
Yeah, actually, I had one follow-up question. You do such great work, Brenda. What you
you.
do, your intentions are great. You do all this stuff, to help people. But there are some people out there that do have these also gifts that you do, and they don't use it for the same thing. I wanted to kind of talk about that just for a second.
Sure.
Maybe some of those televangelists that you see out there, this power of suggestion you see. Do you think is that a little bit of that power of suggestion and they're using it for bad and just taking advantage of people?
Yeah. And it's funny. It was so funny. I was just having this conversation today, and hypnosis is a tool. And with any tool or anything, it can be used for good or bad. Like take electricity, for example. Electricity is a good thing when it's powering up your devices, when it's lighting up your home. But when you use electricity to like electrocute people,
right,
that's bad. Or fire.
Right.
Fire's great if it's heating your home, but if it's burning down your house, it's not a good thing. So it's all in how it's used. So there are people that use hypnosis to manipulate people.
Because I got on this huge YouTube vortex with Benny Hinn with his magic coat.
Benny Hinn?
Hitting people with his magic coat, and I was just like, I was dying. I was just like, I was just like, see what they do believe.
I do have friends that have been healed at Benny Hinn conferences because I've grown up in the church and I come from a Christian background. I think it's based off that individual, not necessarily him. And I think there's a lot of power in expectancy. So when you go in and you expect the healing, you're going to get what you expect. So he may have some crazy ways, and some people may trust him, some people may not. There's a lot of things he's done to him. Like, why the heck did he do that? I don't feel right in my spirit that he did that. Okay. But I do know people that's gotten healed from there. So I don't think it's based off the person that is on stage. I think it's based with the person within and what they are expecting.
It's 100. You're 100% right. It's the power of expectancy. So, oh my God, so people in the audience are watching, and all he has to do is hit me with his jacket and I'll be able to walk again. Or all he needs to do is touch me on my head and I can walk again. And if they see it happen to somebody else, then it triggers something in their brain. Oh, it can work for me like that. So you're really healing yourself
placebo,
with the expectation. Absolutely. It's the placebo.
And there's biblical scripture about the power of expectation and believing it and confessing the healing scriptures onto yourself and things, and not really relying on a man. But sometimes with modern day people, they got to see it physically and then they start believing it. And unfortunately, they start believing the man rather than God. And then they see this so many times. So I think the guy gets a big, huge ego and almost puts himself as being God.
And a huge, big Gulfstream jet too, by the way.
Hey, whatever. Like, I have different beliefs on having some high-end houses and mansions and stuff when it comes to those people. But if you're genuine, and the people that are come from a Christian field and the way I come from, the spirit, you have a spirit of discernment, and you will know what are the real ones. There's a guy that comes on, they still play this dude every week, and he cringes me to no end, that asks for money. I'm like, who gives this dude money? Like, this guy is a scam artist, like 100, just like any other field and any other business. We have scam artists, and you have to discern that. But I do believe going back to healing comes really from yourself and what you expect. And this guy might be up on the stage and doing all these elaborate things and stuff. But when you go in there and you expect, hey, I'm going to get my healing tonight, and this is what's going to happen and all this stuff, it's going to happen. It really is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the power, and it's the power of belief. If you believe that it's going to work out for you, it will. If you believe that it won't, it won't.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, real quick, I'm going to pull this up because I told her I was going to play this on. She gave me permission. It's Ghost Club Jade, okay? Ghost Club Paranormal Jade, and her this was really intense. She went back to believe that. Oh, I can't see the. Hold on, let me pull this up here of the artist that she thought she was going to. I am reincarnated 50s rock and roll legend Eddie Cochran. Do I even have a past life? Will past life regression change my life? There are just a few, but this was really intense. And I don't know if this is an intense one. Real quick, I'm just only going to like play like 30 seconds. Actually, did I hit the sound on this? I don't think I did. Hold on, I'm going to have to unshare and then share again. Hold on. I didn't hit the sound on it. I don't know why they did this. It used to be so easy where you just pulled it up and played it.
Nothing in 2020 is easy anymore.
That's right. That's right. Because I want to make sure I have the sound on this too a little bit. But I would love to do past regression if you have time, Brenda, or anything in the near future, and videotape it like she did.
Yeah.
And see what comes about it. I don't want to. I know you're busy. I'm busy too. But this.
Hey, Brenda, have you ever seen that movie, The Fourth Kind?
No.
Okay, so it's a movie about these people who go to a hypnotist and have regression therapy when they get supposedly abducted by aliens.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think you should definitely check that out. It's really interesting because they start to freak out and it's just like really intense. And yeah, so yeah, try to check that out. I want to know what your opinion is. The Fourth Kind, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It's older. It's probably 5 to 7 years old, so it's been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this sound on now, so we'll play this for a second, and then we're going to go back through Brenda about what's coming up next week and all these other things too, real quick, and then okay. So here we go.
One that has 10 steps that are wide and shallow and fully carpeted to make the descent safe and easy. One that has a banister that's smooth to the touch but strong enough to hold our body up as we descend. And we see at the bottom of the stairs that there's a hallway with several doors across
Sounds
the
like
hallway.
that's the induction, getting into it.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to say. So is that how everything goes like that and all those different
there's different ways to, it's called an induction, to induce the hypnosis to get people there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's different ways, but guided. I like the stairs. You can go on the path.
Yeah.
Or, counting down numbers.
That sounds peaceful. And I'll tell you about counting down numbers. Every time that I've had surgery, back when I was young, I had to have the gas mask for surgery. And I would close my eyes and I would see numbers, and they would go around and around and around in a circle until it got to the end and I would be out.
Cool.
Yeah. So here, I think this is where it gets a little bit intense because I marked some times out. So let's play a little bit here.
The punch bowl. And there's people dancing around me, music.
How does it feel to be there?
Really good.
And do you have your eye on anyone you'd like to dance with?
No. Nobody in particular.
Okay. Do you have any significant boyfriend or married yet at 20?
No.
Okay. Move further to when you're 25. You're 25 now. Where are you now? What are you doing?
I'm crying.
What's wrong?
I don't know. I'm crying and I'm on the floor.
You're crying on the floor. Let's go back to see what made you cry.
Okay, so like she goes through that, like it's really intense. Like I cried. Everybody, please, if you want to watch this past life regression story with Ghost Club Jade, that's youtube.com/Ghost Club Paranormal. But and she's been on our show before, and she's become one of my really, really good friends. And so I know she's not making anything up. I know this is not over dramatized or anything. I trust her 110%. So this was intense for me. It's intense for me right now, honestly, to watch this. Does a lot of that happen in past life regressions? Like
it happens in this life regressions. Because when you're in your subconscious, it's your long-term memory. It's where all of your emotions are kept, and you're going through these emotions and you're processing these emotions. And so what she's experiencing is called an abreaction. So just reacting to the experience. And so it's not uncommon at all.
Well, and then I'll see, I'll pull up this really quickly too.
All of a sudden she's sitting up.
Yeah.
I don't want to play too much of this because this is, and if they want to go watch that, please do on YouTube.
And I'll talk to you later.
So
that, like, I was conscious, but like that was happening to my eyes, and I've never felt that before either. Okay, I actually really do need to just like, that was an experience. I honestly really do highly recommend it to anybody who is interested.
But she highly recommends doing that. And Brenda, like, if you have time, I want to do that with you and video and just see what happens. I'm open. I'm not highly energetic about it. I'm kind of actually cautious about it.
Well, you know, I've had people do regression work that they get to points and they're like, I'm not ready for this. I don't want to deal with it. And they have enough awareness to tell me that. Or if it's too intense, there's different things we can do to shift the experience. So when you're in hypnosis, you are in control. Absolutely. Okay. I'm just the guide. I'm the tour guide along the journey. So I can guide you through it. But you get to decide where you go and kind of what happens next.
Well, that was really intense, and it really got me interested. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Brenda's coming on the show in December. I need to ask her about this stuff and everything, and just see if we could come up with something or do something. Yeah. But I do have your Facebook page pulled up here. So, Will, do you have any following up questions or anything for Brenda right now? No. Okay. No. So, Brenda, really quickly, for all of our viewers and everybody that's watched, can you tell them where they can get a hold of you, connect with you, and then please, oh, my chat is still up on where you sent me the link for happy hour next week. Which I'm going to be there. So, and I'm going to share this all over the place. Believe me, I will. So awesome. Tell everybody where to find you, how they can connect with you, maybe set up something with you, or your weight loss. I'm sure you do relationship stuff too. Love stuff.
Yeah, whatever emotional stuff you want to work on, I'll be your tour guide.
Yay! Awesome.
So tell everybody where they can find you.
So my website is brendahypnotist.com. You can find me on YouTube at Hypno Brenda, HYPNO Brenda. And then you can email me at hypnobrenda@gmail.com. And then you've got the link to my Facebook page. And so if anybody would like to connect and just experience hypnosis in a fun atmosphere to reduce stress, join the Hypnotic Happy Hour happening next Thursday. It's a donation basis. So if you want to join, please do so. And then by popular demand, I'm going to run my 4th version of my Shift and Shed weight management workshop. So it's going to be 5 weeks of online hypnosis and coaching. And that will start the last week in December, just before the 1st. I don't have the details up yet, but if you go to my Facebook page that you have a link on, then I'll put the information there, as well as my website, brendahypnotist.com.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank
really
you,
awesome.
Thank you for having me. Such a fun group.
We got to do something with Norwegian. Will
we got to go do one? Yeah, let's go do it.
Do something. Yeah, that would be so much fun. And you have always been a true joy. Really great energy. Super gifted. I trust you 100%. So I'm anxious to see what happens in the future, and hopefully maybe we can get together and do a past life and see what happens. Really, truly, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
And I don't know if I mentioned this before here, but the month of December every year, usually I have our past guests come back on in December, the ones that we got the most views with. Brenda, you were one of our guests that had the most views. And so we loved, I was so excited that I saw that too. So thank you so much for taking another time, round 2 with What the Frick Live. And I'm sure there's probably going to be a round 3 in 2021.
I love it. Yeah. We're going to recap your experience.
Yes. Oh my God.
And break it down.
Yes.
Let's wait till I have the experience.
I have good thoughts about it.
I just need to put in being optimistic about it and I'm going to be excited about it and see what happens. But Will, this is our last show with you until after the
next
first
year. Yes. So I'm sorry, I'm taking next week off. It's my birthday, so sorry.
Happy
But
birthday.
Whatever.
thank you, Brenda.
Whatever.
Oh, sorry.
He's 29. He's 29 for all
29. I wish I was 29, 41, but listen, I'm just gonna try to live it up for one day.
Have a wonderful birthday. You deserve it.
Thank you.
110%. He balances me more than you all even know. Like really, he does. He's a great co-host. Love him very much. So next week, our last show of the year for 2020, we're going to have Tammy Gower-Matthey. That's on her house. She has a documentary coming out, The Haunting of Tammy. Her house is super poltergeist, crazy haunted. She was actually a clip or 2 of her house was shown on the Osbournes last week or a week before that in Most Haunted Places. So she's coming on next week. So we'll have Tammy back on. And I do have John Sparks. If you all don't know who he is, please look Sparks Up the Paranormal podcast. I was on his show last week as a guest. He's coming on as a co-host next week. Also, next Saturday night, I have a lot coming up. Next Saturday night, Gateway Paranormal has a documentary coming out with the Fairfield Infirmary, which is one of my all-time favorite shows or favorite locations I've ever investigated. And they have a documentary coming out. We are doing a pre-show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RU Media Network. I'm having Melissa Grubbs. She is the host of this. I'm the co-host. So I'm just going to linger by and like peek in and be like, that's awesome. That's amazing.
I'll be creeping around in the chat. Don't worry. I'll be there.
But they are selling tickets right now for their early release of this documentary. It's $5. So please go over to RU Media Network on Facebook. Get your ticket. You don't want to miss this. It's one of the best trailers. I'm not joking. I've done this for a very long time. This group of boys is 5 guys, well, 4 on the show, but 5 total. That has done paranormal investigations for a long time. It's the best trailer for a documentary I have seen with the paranormal in a long time. They did a great job. So I'm excited to see what this documentary is about. But we'll have a pre-show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on Facebook, but it's going to be on RU Media Network. So anyway, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda, for being an awesome guest. Will, happy birthday. Happy New Year. And I'm sure I'll be messaging you, but everybody, thank you. See you next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube, Menshouse, and the Pun Network.